Everyone talks about bleed. And everyone fears fire. And if you're caught in the open by Dum Dum or Dragon's Breath, most people know what to do. But see, there's one status effect that almost nobody builds around. Almost nobody respects. And in my opinion, that makes it secretly one of the strongest tools in Hunt Showdown. I'm talking about poison. Not because it deals the most damage, not because it's overpowered, but because nobody builds around it. And because nobody builds around it, it wins fights in ways that most players don't even realize. See, poison doesn't just take away your health, but it takes away all of your information. See, when you're poisoned, your vision becomes distorted, your hearing becomes distorted, it's harder to focus on both, and after being tagged with poison, you can't heal for 15 seconds. And now suddenly, every decision you have to make in the heat of this fight has become that much harder. Absolutely shuts down your control of the fight. And when you have a game that's built almost entirely around the information game, who heard who first, who saw who first, who rotated first, who healed first, who pushed, who got the res faster, poison interferes with every single one of these decisions, and that's something most status effects can't do. Now, that being said, poison not only just affects hunters, but it also controls space, and it controls space incredibly well. To be fair, poison isn't the only tool in our arsenal that can control space. You have Molotovs and lanterns, and you have concertina bombs that all can do those things as well, but Molotovs and lanterns really only make a doorway dangerous, and concertina, yes, can block off an entire path, but see, poison has a few unique advantages that make it stand out when compared to those two. And the biggest one is that poison doesn't care about your walls or your floors. See, poison bombs can permeate through surfaces, meaning you can deny areas that fire and concertina can't reach. Someone's hiding upstairs, poison bomb. Someone's trying to revive on the other side of this wall, poison bomb. Poison can force people to move and deny certain advantages or aspects of the game. Now, there's also the duration. See, concertina is permanent unless you remove it, right? With a dynamite stick, a beetle, bomb lance, slashing it, whatever. Fire, you can use a Molotov and you can shut off that doorway or that pathway, but that only lasts for about 2 minutes. Whereas if I use this poison bomb and I throw it at the doorway, the hallway, wherever, the stairway, it cuts it off for 5 minutes. That's almost 3 times longer than the Molotov will. And during that duration, players have to rotate around it. It delays their push, and they're repositioning, they're splitting away from their teammates, and every second that they're doing this, you're getting a better angle on them. And even if nobody got poisoned, the threat of the poison takes care of it all. Entire compounds become easier to move through. Instead of wasting ammo on revealing our position, you can just kind of force them to go through a poison cloud. Now, you can quietly remove these obstacles before a fight even begins, and it's one of those advantages that you kind of miss when you don't have it. Now, here's the thing though. One of the reasons poison feels so oppressive is because when you get hit, you're almost guaranteed to get some level of value out of it. Whether it's the 15 seconds your opponent can't heal, it's the distortion of their vision or their hearing, so they don't hear your teammate pushing up on them, or they just don't see you peeking the window because of the distortion. Unlike fire or bleed, they can't just immediately stop it or immediately put it out. Once poison lands, it's basically uncounterable. Oh yeah, there's that. I may have forgotten about that, just a little bit. See, if poison has one fatal flaw, the Achilles heel, it's this fucking thing. Unlike every other status effect in Hunt, poison can be countered and has a counter. And this counter doesn't just reduce the effectiveness, but it absolutely shuts it down. If someone comes into the match with an Antidote Shot active, suddenly your poison ammo, poison bombs, and poison bolts, every bit of pressure that you were counting on applying, now just doesn't apply. So if a counter is this strong, why doesn't everyone bring one? I would think the answer is actually pretty simple. Every consumable slot matters. So we're looking at an opportunity cost. Would you rather bring an Antidote Shot or another Vitality Shot? Or a Restoration Shot? A Frag Bomb, a Stamina Shot? Most players are preparing for fights they expect to have, and most people don't expect to run into a full poison player. It's sort of this self-fulfilling cycle. Nobody brings antidotes because nobody expects poison. But nobody expects poison because nobody builds around it. Which, ironically, is why poison is so effective. Do I think poison is the strongest status effect? No. No. Bleed and fire are far more effective and far more punishing. But if we're talking about the most underrated, the most overlooked status effect in Hunt, that consistently creates advantages without really getting the credit, I think poison deserves that title. It's not flashy, sure, and it doesn't instantly win fights, but it quietly makes your opponent play worse. And in Hunt, that can be all the advantage you need. So, what do you think? Is poison actually underrated, or am I completely off? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a favorite underappreciated strategy, I'd love to hear it.
Watch me as I take off.